What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Originally set for a December 9th release, Yasiin Bey's collaborative album with Ferrari Sheppard, who is a producer, titled December 99th, is finally here. It was pushed back for unknown reasons. The exclusive title release came and went. So it was one of those things like, what was going on here? And then like the rep for Yasiin, and I'm going to say most def a lot of times in this interview because it's habit. But, the rep for Yasiin was like, he said some cryptic message in it. I read it on the fader. I was like, what is this? This doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Anyways, this at one point was supposed to be his final album. But since then, he's revealed that he's going to put out 2 more projects. One will be the long-awaited collaborative album with Mannie Fresh that never came out. It was supposed to come out, I believe, 2013 or 2014 is when they really sat down and did it. They teased it. They put out 2 songs, and then it got shelved indefinitely. So you have that as one of the projects, and then one final solo album. At one point, it was said that he was going to put out both of these albums on December 21st. But since he pushed back December 99th, it seems like that plan is scraped. So I don't know when the other albums are going to show up. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to focus on December 99th. I'm happy that December 99th is not his final album because it would end his career on a low note. I think a lot of these records surfaced throughout the year. And they didn't really hit me then, and they're not really hitting me now. I think the album it's kind of a mess. It's all over the place. It's really like the concepts are just unspecified. They don't feel like they have too much going for them. I listened to this album several times and felt like there was nothing special on it. I get that he's not trying to do the rapping thing on this album, and that's not why I look at it as flawed. I just think a lot of the execution is lacking. And I'll get into that a little bit when I talk about a couple of the bad songs. Now let's look at some of my favorite songs on the album, starting off with Nah. It's an acronym for Needs and Wants. This is one of the songs that came out earlier in the year, and here it really hits like a high point for the album. It's the intro, but it's also, to me, the highest point of the album. I think this is a good representation of Yasiin singing. Otherwise, it's like the rest of the album just kind of falls flat. I think a compromise should have been made for this album. Don't stop singing, because he does sound good singing, especially on the hook for Nah. But I think if I look at like the hook for Nah, for Needs and Wants, and think about how the verses would be so fire if he was just rapping, it would sound like some vintage, old school Mos Def. The other record that I wanted to highlight really isn't a song at all. It's an instrumental. It's titled Hurry. It's the outro, and I'm wondering why he didn't want to do anything with this song. It's really a 5-minute instrumental, and I'm thinking this would be so fire if he were just doing something with it. But then again, considering the rest of the album is kind of lacking, maybe it's for the best that he didn't, because the production on the album, to me, is the strong point. I think Ferrari Sheppard is a good producer, and hopefully this allows him to get more work out there. Work with some more rappers, singers, whoever. I feel like if this was 2007 or 2008, we'd see an influx of rappers spitting over this instrumental, because back then that was the thing. If you can get your hands on an instrumental, you were going in like that. Now let's talk about the bad songs on the album. The 2 that I wanted to highlight, they are sort of a continuation of each other. It Goes and Special Dedication. I think both songs are very minimal, and they really don't hit their stride at all. I think both songs are minimal, and they don't really hit their stride at all. With a lot of the concepts on the album, they feel half-baked. Yasiin really never gets into anything of value. It's all vague, in my opinion. Sometimes even some of these songs kind of feel incomplete. I mean, again, what's the point of having an instrumental on the album if it's not going to really do anything? I don't know what the purpose is. It's good, but I still don't understand the purpose. And maybe that is where my issue with the album is. Maybe I don't fully understand this project. I think it would benefit if Yasiin were to do an interview and say, You know, this was my mindset going into this and working with Ferrari Sheppard, but we don't have that. So maybe I'm just missing out on the point of the album, but I don't see it. I don't find too much enjoyment out of this album. I believe that December 99th would have been a better album if he were rapping more than singing. Again, that's not to take away from his singing, but I think a lot of the ideas on here are half-baked. The production is just great. That was the highlight for me next to the record Nah. I just feel like there's not a lot that's drawn me back into this album. So those are my thoughts on Yasiin Bey and Ferrari Sheppard's December 99th. Once you listen to the album, let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Thank you for watching as always. I really appreciate your time and your comments and your likes. And if you're a new viewer, please subscribe to the channel and check out some of the other reviews that I've done. And until next time, peace.